watching KWQC TV, making a difference in the Quad Cities.
Now on TV6 News.
Coming up on Quad Cities today at 11, with less than 2 months before Election Day, presidential candidates are hitting the campaign trail after Tuesday night's debate, which drew in tens of millions of viewers. What the two are facing on the trails, coming up. And later, wildfires continue to rage in California. A look at how crews are battling the fires and how many acres are already charred. Plus, here at home, it's been dry over the past couple of weeks, but overall pleasant. How long does nice weather last? Coming up in your First Alert forecast as Quad Cities Today at 11 starts now.
You're watching KWQC TV6 Davenport, making a difference for 75 years. Live from the Quad Cities' #1 station for news, this is KWQC TV6 Quad Cities Today at 11.
First at 11, we are just 53 days away until the presidential election as Vice President Harris and former President Trump hit the campaign trails. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Bales. Now, each candidate is holding their first large event since their fiery debate Tuesday. And both campaigns are hoping to build momentum as questions swirl over whether or not there will be a second debate between the two. Peter Alexander has the latest.
Vice President Harris and former President Trump returning to the trail today, traveling to critical battleground states on opposite ends of the country. For Harris, North Carolina, Trump stumping in Arizona. After their contentious debate, the pair putting differences aside to come together at the memorial marking the 23rd anniversary of September 11th. But it comes as Trump is facing controversy over connections to conspiracy theories. Traveling with him recently, Laura Loomer, a conspiracy theorist who last year insisted 9/11 was an inside job. Earlier this week, Loomer sharing a racist post about Harris, who's the child of Jamaican and Indian immigrants, suggesting if Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry, among other things. When asked for comment, the Trump campaign did not address Loomer, simply saying his participation in the 9/11 ceremony was not about anyone other than the souls who are no longer with us. And the Republican governor of Ohio, a Trump ally, is pushing back on baseless conspiracy theories amplified by Trump in the debate about immigrants.
They're eating the pets.
Governor Mike DeWine saying he trusts city officials.
They have no evidence of that at all.
Urging Trump to stay focused on issues like the economy and protecting the border.
And I think the more he can stick to those issues, I think the better off that he is going to be as he goes forward.
Following Tuesday's fierce face-off,
we're still the underdogs in this race. It's tight.
The Harris campaign is calling for another debate, but Trump, who previously insisted on multiple debates, is now non-committal.
You know, when you win, you don't really necessarily have to do it a second time.
Harris is hoping to capitalize on her strong debate performance, even as some undecided voters say they want to know more about her plans, including how she'd address immigration and the economy.
There's got to be somebody that genuinely cares about us and has real policies and real ideas that are realistic.
Well, the ratings are in for the presidential debate between Trump and Harris, and the numbers say voters were paying attention. Nielsen says 67.1 million people watched as the presidential candidates went toe-to-toe on the debate stage in Philadelphia Tuesday night. And that's up from the 51.3 million who tuned in to watch the debate between President Biden and former President Trump back in June. According to the data, more than 6.4 million of those viewers were ages 18 to 34, while 16.8 million were between 35 to 54. However, viewers older than 55 made up the largest share, with more than 41.3 million tuning in. In contrast, the 67 million number is far below the 84 million who watched the 2016 debate between Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. A group of Iowa lawmakers has filed a lawsuit claiming a pipeline that would go through the state was approved unconstitutionally. The lawsuit argues that the Iowa Utilities Commission lacked authority to grant Summit Carbon Solutions a permit in June for its pipeline. The pipeline will carry carbon dioxide produced as a byproduct at ethanol plants through Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, and South Dakota before emptying into an underground storage facility in North Dakota. The permit also allows Summit to have eminent domain powers, which lawmakers believe violates constitutional property rights.
This fight is going to continue for quite some time, I imagine. There's a lot of money involved, and you know how that motivates people. 50 years ago, I took an oath to the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This is an attack on the Constitution.
I took an oath at least 9 times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and that doesn't end in your term of office, that's for life.
Summit responded to the lawsuit by saying that it was confident in the Iowa Utilities Commission's process and that its project will benefit ethanol producers by lowering their carbon footprint. And on the Illinois side of the river, Illinois state lawmakers held another hearing yesterday looking at prescription drug benefit managers, or PBMs, and the role they play in our healthcare system. PBMs act as the middlemen in the prescription drug business. They negotiate between insurance companies, drug manufacturers, and pharmacies. And citing a Federal Trade Commission report from July, the acting director of Illinois' Department of Insurance told lawmakers PBMs are classifying more drugs as specialty, allowing them to bring more business to their pharmacies.
By classifying a larger number of drugs as specialty, PBMs may be steering more prescriptions away from independent pharmacies to their own specialty pharmacies to dispense.
The Pharmaceutical Care Management Association, which is a national trade organization representing PBMs, they dispute the report, arguing allegations in the report are mostly speculation without empirical evidence. We'll take a live look at our First Alert Skyview camera. We have lots of sunshine, but just a little haze in the sky. Meteorologist Kevin Phelps joins us with a check of our First Alert forecast. Let us know when the haze will leave our skies.
After a sunny start here to our day, clouds are going to start rolling in here from south to north. And of course, these are all going to be courtesy of the remnants of Tropical Storm Francine. Does one really good thing for us, though, as it's going to start kicking this band of wildfire smoke off to our north. So yes, we've had a lot of haziness these last few days. Today's the day where we finally get rid of it here as we head into the weekend. So by the afternoon, it all clears out to our north and to our west. Unfortunately, we're going to replace this haze with cloudy skies here as those remnants from Francine kind of work their way in. So again, as you get to these midday, early afternoon hours, you can see these clouds starting to roll in from south to north. East winds could gust close to 20 miles per hour. We're going to be mainly cloudy here by 5 and 6 this evening. And with these clouds around, it's going to help us start off much milder here as we head into tomorrow morning. But it's today, man, we still feel like summer. Mid 80s here by 3 o'clock. You're still in the low 80s by 6. I'll have much more on the weekend and more on the potential rain chances here, maybe impacting some football games here tomorrow night. So much more on that coming up in your full First Alert forecast.
The conference is being held in Bettendorf today, aimed at arming professionals with the information needed to combat illegal schemes hurting banks across the country. The Fraud, Intelligence, and Risk Management Conference began at 8 this morning and goes until 3 this afternoon. There'll be guest speakers, in-depth seminars, and networking opportunities. The event is being held at Edison's Gastropub in Bettendorf. Also happening today, the YWCA Quad Cities will host their annual Pumps, Purses, and Pizzazz fundraiser. The chick event will include a best in shoe contest, silent and live auction, food, and dancing. Money raised from the event will go towards developing a new youth shelter. The event begins at 5:30 this evening and will be held at the Quad Cities Waterfront Convention Center in Bettendorf. Happening tomorrow, it's the final step to becoming an American citizen. A naturalization ceremony will be held Friday at Augustana College, and it will include 93 immigrants from 24 countries. The president of Augustana College will deliver remarks honoring the new citizens. That ceremony is set to begin at 11 in the morning. Coming up on Quad Cities today at 11, California wildfires continue to spread, leaving thousands of acres of charred land. We'll take a look at how many acres have burned so far next.
You're watching TV6 News with Kyle Bales.